In 2012, there was a terrible tragedy when on two separate occasions women arrived in maternity in the labour ward already dead. How terrible that in this era where such fantastic advances have been made into the world of medicine, people arrive without having easy access to medical care. In response, Kasisi, with help of its partners, built a 24-bedded maternity waiting home that you see here behind me. This means that now mothers can come in good time and wait. When labour starts, they can report to maternity immediately. It has proved very popular with over 400 admissions a year and an average length of stay of 13 days. And we believe it has made a very valuable contribution to women having universal access to health care.
Let me tell you that one of the biggest problems in the rural setting that we are is access to health care. And this is made hard by the very bad road network. Now bringing a mother who has a very undetermined and unsure access to hospital if need be. If you bring them close to the hospital, then it eliminates that burden. So it has made a very tremendous outcome, a very tremendous change to patient care in our region. It's a great impact to the mother's outcomes and the baby's outcomes. Most of the patients we keep around are high-risk patients who may not need to be in hospital, but they need to get quick access to hospital services.
So in our waiting home, we do a lot of health education. You see, this one we are educating mothers on what to feed on. There we are educating mothers on what to prepare before they come for delivery. At least some of these things they could prepare them. And here we tell them how to always go for antenatal. Even when they are in the waiting home, they can still do their antenatal services around here in the antenatal clinic, this hospital. So here we encourage them to sleep under the mosquito nets to prevent malaria in pregnancy, which is very dangerous. And so you're welcome inside. Okay, so these are the different tubicles. There are mothers who stay in here. It is just around 4:30 now, and most of them are outside they are not inside the rooms. And these are the ones who have come to visit them. You're welcome. So this one is showing mothers to not smoke. There are different pictures showing of like teaching them, educating them. Even if we don't come to teach them physically, we tell them, you know, you come look here and don't do this and this. And this is actually guiding them on how to care for their babies. This one is encouraging them to wash their hands. So this is teaching them along with this one to bring their babies for vaccination and what we do during immunization. So as we continue, some mothers are there but they are resting. We have some mothers in bed, although many have just moved out. Many mothers, there is a lot of work, a lot of burdens. Some of them have like 4 children at home, and so it's a lot taking care of the children and doing all that work at home. And even then, if she has been digging like today and she's somewhere far, like in Yacheni, that means if labor starts, then it will be hard for her to come from Yacheni up to here before she gets a problem. So being here helps them. We tell them, as long as you're from far, you just come here. We accommodate you because it is almost free. Being here, even if you spend here how many months, it is still okay. And they are doing well here. If they get any problem, we just tell them, just report to maternity immediately, as we've always done, and the outcomes have always been good. Okay, so this lady has just been with us for about 3 weeks. She came in with weight and abortion, and she's still from very far in Dubai. So she had to come here. We managed her when she stabilized on maternity. We brought her down on the waiting home so that the bills do not increase much, and the distance from home to here, if she gets a problem, is far. So she had to stay here for that time. So she has been here for about 3 weeks, and she's now doing well. So these are some of these mothers who are inside, some of them. This one has been here for now also about 3 weeks. The other mother is from Rutenga. Rutenga is almost in Kanungu. I think it is in Kanungu. Yeah. So she has been here for 3 days. She came in to wait for labor because she's from far.
I can think of many that have come through this particular place. We had a mother who came in with threatened abortion, and it turned out that her placenta was not lying. That had happened at around 23 weeks, and she was with us for 6 or 7 more weeks, and at around 30 weeks she got an acute gush of blood, and we were called in. We intervened in timely. We did a cesarean section and removed her premature baby, and the baby is improving right now in special care. Had this mother been home, the outcome would have been different for both the mother. The bleeding was so acute and so rapid that she would have lost her life had she spent a few minutes before coming.
So this time, that's when she saw the bleeding, she said, I'm going very fast. So she came in time.
Good.
And they first put the baby in incubator on oxygen, and then after some time the baby improved. The baby is now off oxygen. So she's bringing up the baby on the cords. That's what
and many other things. Mothers who come with history of previous cesarean operations and at a high risk of getting ruptured uterus if they labor from home. Mothers who get history of loss of their babies during delivery or before delivery at term. We keep them here for close monitoring. Mothers who have a lot of liquor inside their abdomen, what we call polyhydramnios, at a high risk, and so we keep them here for closer monitoring. There is a particular patient I remember who had in her previous pregnancies lost pregnancies for unexplained reasons. She had carried 4 and she had no living child.
Okay.
And so we saw her in the pregnancy early enough at 8 weeks, and we did some investigations, and she actually requested to stay in hospital, partly because of social problems. She was being ridiculed in her home village, and so she thought she could not take in another 7 or so months of stress. So she kept around from 2 months up to 9 months.
Wow.
I'm happy to report she went back home with a baby. So it ranges between as long as 6-7 months to up to a few days.
And you've just described a scenario where not just physical risk, but actually mental risk in terms of stigma and so on. So that helped her enormously, I think.
Yes.
Tremendous. Now, what actually happens if a mother comes here? Does she just get a bed, or what happens every day?
We ensure a midwife rounds every day to check on their well-being and the baby's well-being. We ensure a social worker comes every day to give social support, but also to give some counseling and psychological support. And we ensure a weekly consultant would round. So every week, a consultant and a medical doctor, medical officer, will come and check on the well-being of these mothers and plan for the coming week.
But what about night time? Because that's fine if you happen to have a problem during the ward round. But what happens if you develop a problem in the middle of the night?
There is a worker, a helper, or we call a hostel matron, who keeps watch over these ladies every night. And she has access to the main ward. She's always in constant communication with the nurses and the staff on the main ward to report any eventualities, but also to help the mothers during the night.
Thank you. So this is a 24-bed unit. So how full is it most of the time?
Most of the times it's more than 3/4 full. There are a few times when, because mothers have realized how good it is, so there are many times when mothers from the main unit request to come and spend the rest of the waiting time in mother's waiting home. And many times we don't have space for them because it's always full. So it's always 3/4 full to full. When they are here, we encourage them to do daily activities of living, washing for themselves, cooking for themselves, moving around. However, it has helped in a way that it reduces the much stress and burden they would have had if they were at home, taking care of all their children and mothers-in-law and digging from morning to evening. So that much stress is cut off and it is helpful for the mother. So labor outcome is not affected in a way. It's actually made better. There is a daily ward round, and during the ward rounds we give health education to each individual patient, individualized education. But also there is a social worker who does exactly that. Now the aim is to have ongoing education even without presence of a health worker. And we've provided a television set, and we want health education programs to keep playing during the normal days of these patients, a local language.